I'll be the first to admit that walking down a dark alleyway in a less than reputable part of town wasn't the most logical thing to do, but logic had very little to do with my actions that day. The voice pulled me, entranced me, and terrified me all at the same time. Not until I felt my feet walking toward it of their own accord did the stories of sirens from ancient myths make sense. All sense of will, my own safety, was subverted by the voice's pitch and melody. So entranced was I that I didn't even hear the words of the song, just the beauty. As I followed the voice through the narrow alleyways, their filth barely touched by the rain pouring from the rooftops, the allure of the voice grew stronger. Soon I was running, sprinting through the streets, my clothes soaked by the rain from above and the splashes from below. I slipped and fell, slamming my shoulder into a pile of old wooden pallets, but the pain was nothing to me now. Part of me wanted to slow down, but all of me wanted to get to the voice as soon as possible. Finally, I rounded the corner, skidding and almost falling again, and caught my first sight of the source of the siren's song. The singer was sitting on a chair in the middle of a small, clear space, her back to me. Her face was turned to the sky, head swinging slightly from side to side with the rhythm of the song. Hands by her sides obscured by the long, loose sleeves of the too large coat she wore. She turned when she heard me approach, leaping effortlessly from her chair and spinning in midair. First, I was glad about that. I would be able to see this angel's face, I thought. I was wrong. Over her face, she wore a mask, though it had more similarities to those used by welders than those used for disguise or play. The entire upper half of her face was completely obscured by a solid sheet of metal, attached to which was a fine mail-like mesh of metal links. The mesh hung to well below her jaw like a veil. The only adornment on the mask was a pair of eyes, drawn in what appeared to be crayon, red and devilish. They had large X's spray-painted over them. "You look disappointed," she said, barely loudly, enough to be audible over the rain, tilting her head to one side. "Not what you expected?" I wanted to see your face," I stammered. The spell of her song had broken, and I had started to realize how foolish I had been to chase it. She laughed. "I don't wear this mask so that you won't see my face." She walked towards me, her movements nimble and sinuous, the terrifyingly beautiful movements of a predator. She stopped a few feet from me and leaned in close. "I wear this mask so that..." She raised her hand to the mask, long sleeve falling from it. I stared. The falling sleeve had revealed something inhuman, yet strangely not unexpected. Her fingers had no nails, but instead reflective onyx claws jutting from them, curved and longer than seemed practical. She started to remove the mask, but I didn't want to know what was behind it. I was already several meters away and accelerating. I was as frantic as I was lost, and though I was constantly slipping and having to right myself, I must have maintained a pace most professional athletes would have been hard-pressed to equal under normal circumstances. Eventually I found a place to hide. An old public restroom, its metal roof rusted and walls stained. I don't know if it was designed to not require a door, or if the door had been stolen long ago, but I had never been so happy to enter an old, malicious, probably non-functioning bathroom in my entire life. I watched the doorway with quiet intensity, trying my hardest to calm my breathing and listening for any sound other than that of the rain. After several minutes, I was much calmer, and it occurred to me that the singer hadn't shown any signs of aggression or anger. It had just talked calmly to me. I didn't even know if it had chased me. I knew better than to look back when running from something, but still, I couldn't shake the feeling of disquiet. I looked at the cracked mirror beside me, hoping to laugh at myself and leave this fetid building behind, with my breath caught in my lungs. The image of the mirror is pretty much what you'd expect. Old stalls with either no doors or feeling pain, unclean sinks that probably didn't function, an old incandescent bulb that had lived long past its prime in order to cost the city more money with its inefficiency. All perfectly normal, except for the figure standing behind me, his face obscured by his hand. "You will see me at all," the singer whispered, peeking over my shoulder. I caught one glimpse of her eyes, pupils filling them from rim to rim, before I was running again. Oh, I'm home. But that isn't much comfort. I'm fairly sure the singer let me go rather than me escaping, if I really escaped at all. As I sit here typing, I can't help but to notice that some things I swore I'd hate are things I really wish I knew were happening right now. Never thought I'd say this, but I hope my obnoxious neighbors are hosting another late night party. I hear singing